So sure enough, I'm on my way home from work, sitting through traffic, wasting fuel in traffic, and one of my channel's followers text messages me out of the blue, and he tells me, Amazon just announced a 20-for-1 stock split. And they're also doing a $10 billion buyback. However, that really doesn't apply to me. Now, anybody who's followed my channel, y'all know that I have told y'all about these splits in the past, and I've tried to get y'all the heads up on them. I told you about Apple back in 2015. I told you about Apple, I think it was a year or two ago. I told you about getting in on these NVIDIA when they did their stock split. I believe it was 12-1, if I'm not mistaken. I told you about who did a stock split? Well, obviously, I told you about the most recent one before this, Google. And I said to myself, I was like, you know what? And I told y'all heard me talking. Y'all heard me talking. So you know I'm not making this shit up. I said, what are the odds that Amazon is going to follow Google and do a stock split? This is going to be Amazon's first split since the dot-com boom. It's not really much information here. Obviously, it's the main thing that you're looking at. Amazon on Wednesday announced that the board of directors has approved a 20-for-1 stock split. The company also said it plans to buy back up to $10 billion worth of shares. Andy Jassy, Chief Executive Officer of Amazon.com, during the GeekWire Summit, blah, blah, blah. That's the photo. Amazon announced its first stock split since the dot-com boom, telling investors on Wednesday that they'll receive 20 shares for each share they currently own. The stock soared 6% in extended trading. The company also said it plans to buy back up to $10 billion worth of shares. Stock splits are cosmetic and do not fundamentally change anything about the company other than possibly making the shares accessible to a larger number of investors because of the cheaper price. Were the split to happen as of Wednesday's close, the cost of each share would go from $2,785.58 to $139, and each existing holder would get 19 additional shares for every one they hold. Amazon joins a parade of highly valued tech companies pulling down the price of each share through a split. Google parent Alphabet announced a 20-for-1 split in February. In mid-2020, Apple disclosed plans for a 4-on-1 split. Tesla told investors it was doing a 5-for-1. I noticed that they left out NVIDIA right here, but I guess they don't care about NVIDIA as much as I do since I love NVIDIA. CEO Andy Jassy has faced a rough start to his tenure, which began in July. The stock was the worst performer among big tech companies last year and has dropped 16% so far in 2020, joining a decline across the sector. Amazon just reported its slowest rate of growth for any quarter since 2001. And according to a recent Wall Street Journal report, billionaire activist investor Dan Loeb, who's been adding to his Amazon holdings, told investors on a private call that he sees about $1 trillion in untapped value at the company. The shares will be distributed to Amazon shareholders at the close of business on May 27th. Oh, so in fact, I have to tell one of my clients right now, fuck, they're not even giving us any time. We got to do it right now. God damn. May 27th, I just had to text message a client. May 27th, and trading will begin on a split-adjusted basis on June 6th. The shares will be distributed on May 27th, and trading will begin on a split-adjusted basis. June 6th, the split happened. The split trade, the split shares trade. Jesus fucking Christ, this is ridiculous. This is Amazon's third stock split since its IPO in 1997, and its first since 1999, when the company was a fraction of its current size. It also split on a 2-for-1 basis on June 2nd, 1998, a 3-for-1 basis on January 5th, 1999, and a 2-for-1 basis on September 2nd, 1999. So here is the story. This is it for me. Let's take a look at the Amazon I'm going to make this really quick. I'm not going to talk about this for a very long time because you already know what you've got to do. You know what you got to do. Fuck them Bitcoins. Fuck them Dogecoins. Fuck them Ethereums. You already know what you got to do. You need to get your goddamn money together. So let's take a look at the max time for, in fact, no, just over the last year. So right now, first of all, the last time I remember Amazon was actually over 3,000 kind of recently. But this is what they're looking like right now. And as you can see right now, it's 27.85. Now, here's the thing. And I'm not going to apologize for this because as far as I'm concerned, I didn't do anything wrong. The Google stock split, as soon as I heard about it, just like I'm making this video right now, I told you about it immediately because I was like, you know what? Everybody needs to get their money in as quickly as they can. When I announced the Google stock split, it was 27.50. Now, I had no idea that in between now and that announcement that fucking Russia was going to decide to flatten the Ukraine and send the stock market in general tumbling. I had no idea about that. That I couldn't have predicted. But what I did predict about them actually doing these splits pretty much came to me because I've noticed that when they see that we're getting our tax returns, they target these stock splits to coincide with our tax returns. Apple and Tesla did exactly that. They knew that people were filing taxes late, so they coincided with the tax returns to make sure that we had the money in our pockets that was burning our pockets, and they decided that if we heard about it, that we'd get in on that split. Now, it's, what is this, January, February, March, we're March 9th. April tax deadlines, unless it's extended because of COVID, April's tax deadline is quickly approaching, and as you can see, they're saying May 27th. So basically, they're saying by the time you get your tax return in your hand, you should be ready to sign that money over to Amazon and buy that stock. So what are we looking at right now? If you were buying Amazon stock right now, just as it said, you'd be, what is it, 27.85 divided by 20. You're paying $139 a share if you buy it right now. Now, this is where the gamble comes in. If you wait and this stock happened to go back up and stay back up, let's say it went back up to $3,000, divided by 20, that's $150. So you'd be paying about $13 to $14 more per share. Now, Google, as you know, Google is still relatively on sale because I told you about the stock split for Google at $27.50. They will not be splitting until July. Now, as you can see, because of the fighting in Europe, this has been what they've been looking like. Like I told you at $27.50, and as you can see, it dipped down to $25.48. And right now it's at $26.68. So what I've noticed is it can lose and gain $100 real quick. But here's the thing though. As we approach July, as more people get their tax returns and they decide that this is where they want to invest their money, you can bet that Google stock is going to eventually rise above the 3,000 mark, or it's going to end up probably above $150 per share, just like Amazon will. But what we don't know is what the Russian-Ukraine situation is going to do in the short term. So this is how I do it. What I do is I just take the money, I buy the stock shares, and then I just forget about it. And the reason why is because with Google and Amazon, we already know what these companies are capable of. We already know what these companies are involved in. We already know these are multinationals. We already know that they're making and creating all new types of stuff, and they're trying to basically be just like Apple. We already know that. So the reality is, this is money that you've basically got to take, put it on faith that when you buy these shares, and that's it. That's all you can really do. And you have to wait 4 or 5 years. Some people say that they don't like it because it's slow and they'd rather gamble their money away on Dogecoin and XRP and all that nonsense, crypto garbage. But the reality is, this right here, I already predicted Google and Amazon were going to do stock splits. Why? Because I knew coming out of COVID, I knew that the momentum that they had been experiencing was going to slow down because people don't have to work at home. In fact, we're getting rid of the mask mandate. So a lot of people don't have to order or buy as much stuff from these people as possible. They don't have to. So ultimately, they're rotating out of momentum. And because they're rotating out of momentum, more people are taking their money, putting what their gains are into dividend-paying stocks. Because now they're trying to take those gains, cash out, get those dividend-paying stocks. It's very, very possible within a year or two that Google and Amazon could start paying a dividend. But whether they do or not, if you're not in it, you're not in it. It's also very possible that these stocks could do exactly what Nvidia did and continue to grow, just like Apple. Most rich people putting their money in Apple. Look at Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, Apple makes up the majority of his holdings. That's what he said. That and insurance. So the bottom line is, I told you I'm not going to make this long. You know what you got to do. I hold 5 shares of Google. I will have 100 shares after the split is done. I was telling you before I heard this news that I was going to buy maybe a little bit more Google, but now I am canceling those plans. So you read me loud and clear. I'm canceling those plans. The money that I was going to use to buy more Google, I'm not doing any more Google. I'm going to take that money and I'm going to buy Amazon. At the end of this split with Amazon, I'm going to have 100 Amazon shares. So I'm going to have 5 total of Amazon that splits to 100. So this way, my Google and my Amazon will be equal. And that's my game plan. That's it. I have nothing more to say than that. That's all I really had to say. But now you've heard it from me. You heard it here first if you didn't already hear it somewhere else. Now you know that y'all need to have $6,000 so that you can purchase 1 share of Google, 1 share of Amazon as quickly as possible. If you're lucky and you get in immediately, it won't go up to 3,000 and you won't need the full 6,000. But the reality is you'll need to get your money in now, immediately. Don't let these suckers try to sucker you into this crypto shit. And, the Russians are going to put their money in crypto. Yeah, that's why Biden is going to go after it with the IRS, and so is China. And everybody's going to go after that shit with these governments trying to stop these sanctions from being usurped. Bottom line is, listen, some people want to try to get rich quick. This is not the time for that shit. It's just not the time for that. Get your $6,000. Get it together. Get yourself at least 1 share Google and 1 share Amazon. Because when the smoke clears, I'm going to have 100 shares of Google and 100 shares of Amazon. Now, I know some of you believe in that fractional buying shit where you say, I don't want a full share of Google. I don't want a full share of Amazon. I'll just buy a little bit. Well, if you don't hold at least 1 share, which gives you 20, you'll have 20 shares. If you don't hold at least 20 Googles and 20 Amazons, and you try to come at people at the water cooler with that bullshit, I only got I got 15 or I got 5 shares after the split. People are going to laugh at you at the water cooler, and you'll deserve it. I'm telling you right now, get your $6,000, get it together, and it's time for you to get that Google. It's time for you to get that Amazon if you haven't already. If you already got the Google, it's time to get that Amazon. I can't believe this is happening. I knew it was going to happen, but I can't believe it's happening. It popped out of nowhere. It's finally here. Get yourself the $6,000. Get yourself 1 share Google. Get yourself 1 share Amazon. And that's all I got to say to you.